Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. 50 years ago this week, John F. Kennedy gave his New Frontier speech in his acceptance of the Democratic presidential nomination, I believe, in Los Angeles. The New Frontier. Well, some content. How about the moonshot, the main factor in modernizing the U.S. economy over the last 40 to 50 years? The entire microchip revolution, computers, miniaturization, all the rest of that, directly from the moonshot government program it was. Investment tax credit. You want to lower your taxes? Don't buy derivatives. Put it in plant and equipment. That would be the investment tax credit. Breaking the power of Wall Street. Roger Blau, the insolent financier, the head of U.S. Steel, who tried to defy the presidency and found himself a broken man after that, as he deserved to be. He was a Wall Street parasite and bandit. And in the Cuban Missile Crisis, Kennedy stood up to Curtis LeMay, General Lyman Lemnitzer of Operation Northwoods, and the rest of these lunatics who wanted to take the opportunity to start World War III. So that is 50 years ago this week, one-half century, and it's been downhill. And again, exceptionalism is always available. You want to be exceptional? Do something exceptional. Exceptionalism has got to be fought for and earned every day. You don't get it once. It reminds me of the Calvinist theory of personal salvation, right? According to many Calvinists, you get saved once, it's permanent. No, you got to keep earning it. You've got to keep deserving it. Same thing with exceptionalism. You want to be exceptional, do something exceptional. And what have you done exceptional lately? That would be my approach. Now, the question of economics, we've got quite a little bit of a crash going today. And again, it's Friday the 16th of July. We've got the New York market down about 2 to 3%. Let's see what the world was like overnight. Japan was down about 3%. They're worried that the yen is too strong compared to the dollar. Actually, you have a very, very threatening pattern, right? The euro is back up. The euro has survived. The euro is not going to go under in the immediate future as far as we can see. Euro is now up to about $1.30 to buy a euro. The yen is up to about 85, 86 to a dollar. So that means the dollar is the weak sister once again. The yen is very strong. The euro is strengthening. The dollar is now the weak one. So for Japan, naturally, this means the yen gets too high. Exports not so good. Nikkei down 3%. Korea down 1%. Germany down 2%. Dollar very weak. But now let's turn to our constitutional defense department here. We want to honor the Constitution, and we mean the whole Constitution, and not somebody's caricatured view of it either. So for this, on the question of Obama's legitimacy and qualification, or rather lack thereof, let's go to Philadelphia for an update from good friend Phil Berg. Welcome, Phil.
My pleasure. This week was a good week for us as far as we were turned down, I think I told you recently, about 2 weeks ago, by the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals on our Qui Tem case, or False Claims Act case. This week, we just filed for a rehearing by the court en banc, meaning the entire court, because this is such a critical issue. Now, I believe the court will probably not hear the case, but we put forth a succinct statement of it, and it was even picked up. It'll be up on our website, but there's something called birtherreport.com. They've covered it and very nicely. And this is crucial because the Qui Tem case that we filed is a unique case with unique circumstances because of the nature of the false claims, that being because the allegations of fraud are against Barack Hussein Obama, but not as president when he was a United States Senator, because it's our position that he was not natural born, not naturalized, but an illegal alien. If he's an illegal alien, he could not hold the position of United States Senator. And there's a big issue here, which I've mentioned before, but hopefully the court will hear it. If not, we're going to take it to the Supreme Court.
So let me ask you, in terms of the rejection, which judge was it, and did he say anything? Were there any dicta, any comment.
Not really.
The company...
Not really. They basically just short and sweet affirmed the lower court and denied our motion for reconsideration based on the big issue here is conflict of interest. And if this is not a conflict of interest, the words conflict of interest should be deleted from legalisms. I'll tell you why. Because the Eric Holder is the Attorney General of the United States. The Attorney General's Office and Department of Justice, which comes under the Attorney General, makes a decision in False Claims Act or qui tam cases. And all these cases, this one I filed, it was sealed. Well, they're all these type cases are sealed. Significant is that the person bringing the case is called, in this case it's Phil Berg, and I'm designated as what's called the relator, R-E-L-A-T-O-R. Well, these type cases have been up to the U.S. Supreme Court already, and the Supreme Court has said the person bringing the action has standing. So this is crucial because in all the other cases we're bringing about Obama, they keep knocking us out saying we don't have standing. And then we're alleging here that there's a major conflict of interest because Eric Holder, number one, was on the senior campaign staff of Barack Hussein Obama. Excuse me. Number two, he was one of three individuals selected by Obama to select a vice president who eventually selected Biden, who was, became vice president. And number three, he was nominated and confirmed as Attorney General, which is the highest law enforcement officer in the country, who reports to the president. So it's his department under him. They're saying not to prosecute this case. If that, Webster, is not a conflict of interest, none exists in the world as far as I'm concerned. We'll post
so let me just ask you, the original opinion, going back to the district court, right, the trial court, that was done by this judge who seemed to have some animus, seemed to be hostile?
Well, his position was that according to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, he has no input in the decision. We also raised that issue. How can you not have input when the statute provides for a hearing? It differs than the Ninth Circuit out in California, where the judges out there, the federal judges there, do have input in the cases. So I think we have two major issues there. One, whether the judge should have input, and two, conflict of interest, which I think is the major overriding issue because it's not just what I raised. Under that, in the and all this is on our website, obamacrimes.com, these conflicts of interest are codified in the federal register, 5 CFR 26835, a bunch of numbers which are on our website. So the Code of Federal Regulations sets out what a conflict of interest is, and therefore, we're 100% right on that. So we're sending that out to people. Hopefully people out there who get it can perhaps do it on their own, send a letter to the court, whatever they feel like doing. We feel this is strong. I hope there's enough members of the court en banc to decide to want to hear this case, because they should hear this case.
Let me ask you, how many members are there? How many members?
I don't have that number in front of me.
And some of these people are actually quite well known. I'm trying to remember some of them because they've been prominent in recent cases. I had a whole bunch of slides about them back in the Bush era.
Right.
It's a very prominent circuit court.
I'm sorry?
It's a very prominent court, right? Because they're immediately involved in everything with the government.
Hopefully they have some guts there on the court to do something that's right. But you can't tell. And, Obama's dropping in the polls, so you never know, how these people could change their process, because unfortunately the courts do take in the feelings of the country. But we're pursuing that. We're also trying to get together. Hopefully by next week we'll have the date for our march. It probably might be the end of September. We're going to have the biggest march in Washington, D.C. history to take care of Obama on his eligibility, his birth certificate, and Obamacare.
Okay, Phil, thanks very much, and we'll see you next week, and naturally you're going to keep fighting as always. Bye-bye. And we'll be back in a minute on World Crisis Radio.